As Brexit has finally taken place, new details are emerging of a trade deal between the U.S. and U.K. as Britain seeks to rekindle U.S. relations following their exit from the EU. One America's Jack Posobiec sits down with the U.K. political advisor Raheem Kassam to learn more.
Very excited to welcome back here to One America News Raheem Kassam, who was instrumental in the passage of Brexit back in 2016, the referendum that shocked the world, but maybe not shocked yourself. And now we're finally on the heels of Brexit actually happening. So congratulations for that.
Well, thank you. It's a great weight of relief. And I'm glad that as of the 31st of January this year, that marks the point of no return, we are out.
So now the next step for Americans looking at Brexit, and we've heard talk about this, about a U.S.-UK bilateral trade deal. What are you hearing about that?
Well, look, there's a couple of $100 billion a year to be had in an effective trade deal between the United Kingdom and the United States to lower the barriers of entry for both countries into each other's markets. A bilateral deal, not one of these big multilateral deals that I know President Trump is not a big fan of. He's a fan of bilateralism, and this presents a major opportunity. The talks have been going on behind the scenes for years. You're not allowed to engage in official talks until Britain has actually fully left the European Union, which will come by the end of this year. But unofficial talks have been going on, positioning it as to what industries, what sectors each country would be interested in providing goods or services to. So there's a major economic boom on the way if this is played correctly for both our economies.
So with that relationship, talking $100 billion, what are some of the top industries that would make sense for trade between the U.S. and UK?
Well, there'll be a lot of them, actually. I mean, there'll be a lot of farming products, there'll be a lot of agriculture stuff going on there, especially things that you guys might want to export to us. There'll be a lot of financial services there, manufacturing, steel, all these places that Britain has relied on for the last couple of decades, relied on the European Union, and in turn relied on China for. President Trump can actually come to the table and say, hey, don't buy their cheap crap. Don't put up with their rubbish ideas, their ideology. You don't want to be in bed with the CCP. Come to us. We're your friends. We provide, high quality things, and we'll do a great deal on them for you. And at the same time, it will allow U.S. manufacturers and U.S. producers of all this stuff to go, hey, we've got a great big new market here. The United Kingdom's economy is absolutely massive, as people know. We are the largest single export market for the European Union. And if the United States wants to take advantage of that, and there's a healthy bilateral relationship to be had, all boats can rise together.
What about the idea of U.S. liquid natural gas? Well, of course, that's obviously been one of the major hallmarks of the Trump administration. Is there a possibility of exports of that to the U.K.?
Yeah, there absolutely is. I mean, the United Kingdom and our government has for some time wanted to get away from the dirty energy supply, and a lot of people are very keen on that. The royal family and people in government have bought into a lot of the climate change stuff, and they want to move away from coal and all of that. There's an opportunity here to move into something that is less harmful. Everything comes with its caveats, but less harmful for the environment. Also something that can be produced by a reliable partner. Now, if we as a nation continue to look to the Middle East for energy, if we continue to look further afield, we don't know what the geopolitical ramifications of those things are, and we have been at the behest of some of these countries that have not been our best allies for a great amount of time.
Bottom line, then, does that mean we're going to start seeing a resurgence or a realignment of the Anglosphere throughout world politics?
Look, I went to see President-elect Trump in his apartment in Manhattan on the 10th of November in 2016. And as I was walking out, I said to him, Mr. President, can I ask you a cheeky favor? And he said, what's a cheeky favor? I said, would you return the bust of Winston Churchill back to the Oval Office, because your predecessor, Barack Obama, cast it aside. He sent it back to the embassy into storage, didn't like it for whatever familial or whatever reasons. He didn't want Churchill there in the Oval Office. And the President-elect looked at me for a second and he said, would this mean a lot to you? I said, it would mean the world to me. He said, would it mean a lot to your country? I said, yes, sir, it would. He said, it's done. And on day one of the administration, the Churchill bust was back in the Oval Office. That was a great symbol of where the Anglosphere, where the UK-US relationship could go. And President Trump was showing with that motive behind him that he accepts that we have a shared history, we have a tied history. So he wants this to happen. It's up to us now in a post-Brexit world as to whether or not we play ball, but every chance is on the table for us here, and I hope we seize it.
Raheem Kassam, where can people follow your work?
RaheemKassam.com, also warroom.org, and at thenationalpulse.com.
Raheem Kassam, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.